As well, and I want to draw you back to the front page of the Daily Nation. What next is a probing question on the front page of the Daily Nation today. Politics of the next 5 years will be shaped less by the theatrics of the opposition swearing in and more by clutch of underlying trends, all focused on 2022. And you have the hurdles, of course, now split here, NASA and Jubilee. They're all enumerated here. For the interest of time, we won't go through all of them as well. But we want to talk to the general himself, right? I'm given to understand that, yes, information that really is coming to hand right now is the fact that, Uhuru Park will be cordoned off. It's a no-go zone. So far, we've seen that there are Nairobi business community or men who also have actually, put forward a request that they should use the venue on that particular material day. And of course, we are given to understand also some of these principals will be under house arrest on that particular day. So are you still going full steam ahead with the swearing in, given these factors that are around you? Of course, also, we have also from the Star. If I may go back and just show you what we do have on the front page of the Star. 100 MPs sign up to support Raila Odinga, and most of this were given to understand were shoehorned to do this, to sign the affidavit.
You made to understand by whom? Anyway, let me answer your question.
From our sources.
Yeah, your sources
from our reliable sources.
Undisclosed. We need to deal with concrete facts. And I would rather deal with individuals who are courageous enough to put their names when they are giving statements to the press, like I do. Number one, there will be a swearing in. There will be a swearing in. So take that to the bank and cash it. Two, NRM has no reverse gear. We are going only forward. We are not going backwards. All right? So there is no reverse. Number three, I said yesterday on my tweet, and I'm going to repeat today, we invite every Kenyan, all Kenyans, to attend the swearing in. The Nairobi so-called business community, who are basically Mungiki, are welcome to attend because they are Kenyans. The church that is supposed to have claimed that it wants to occupy Uhuru Park for the day are also welcome to attend. Uhuru Park belongs to all Kenyans, not to a section of Kenyans. Number four, and this is very, very important, the Bill of Rights is the heart of the Constitution. Without the Bill of Rights, there is no Constitution. And rights vest on people. The right to assemble, the right of speech, the right of association are entrenched in this Constitution. And it vests on the people. State organs, institutions, and individuals that occupy public office have a duty. It's not some kind of request we make. It's a right, and the state has a corresponding duty to protect those rights. So which means that if, and as it happens now, the people's president will be sworn in at Uhuru Park, the police, the Attorney General, or the Jubilee Attorney General, and other busybodies have a duty to protect the rights of those who want to express those rights at Uhuru Park. We have not said the Nairobi business community or Mungiki cannot come to Uhuru Park. It's not a contest of who will occupy what. We need and deserve that space. You are not going to tell Raila Odinga supporters that they cannot go to Uhuru Park, yet they pay taxes. You cannot tell a section of this country that they have no access to certain public spaces because you have a gun. You are not going to shoot 1 million people. You can't, physically. An army can't.
Thank you. My question to you is this, Miguna.
And it is unfortunate that the nation calls swearing in theatrics. That shows which side they are supporting. There is no need for such adjectives. But ask the question.
All right. I just needed to know also from you, do you believe Raila will be the people's president?
Raila is the people's president.
Is the people's president.
Yes.
All right. But I
said Raila refused to be sworn in 2007 when he won. But it is the truth. No. No. You played a long clip and I'm going to respond. This one you're going to allow me to respond.
Please.
Raila refused to be president in 2007. I said it. This time I'm saying he must be president because he won again and his victory was stolen. I said completely accurate things there. You cannot criticize what I said. And if you were to compare what I said, no, listen. If you have to compare what I said with what William Ruto said about Uhuru Kenyatta, who is now his partner, or what Uhuru Kenyatta said about William Ruto in 2007, then your memory is completely gone. How about Kalonzo Musyoka?
But
no. What is good for the goose is good for the gander.
But they're on the subject of the discussion this morning.
Let me explain.
Yeah.
What is good for the goose is good for the gander. If you're going to criticize Miguna, you must also criticize others who have made statements that do not make sense. But mine makes sense.
Oh, thank you.
I said Raila did not become president in 2007 because he refused to be sworn in. And I said he refused to take the instruments of power.
Thank you.
And this time what I'm saying, I'm there as the general. I'm going to ensure that he's sworn in. I'm going to ensure that he takes the instruments of power. I'm going to make sure that these illegitimate usurpers of people's sovereignty and power are kicked out of power.
But you don't believe he can run this country?
I believed in 2007 because he was cowardly, that he was not capable of running the country. But he has won. Let us be honest with ourselves.
Just a moment.
Raila won. No, listen to me, please. Raila won in 2007 and Raila won in 2017. We are not going to escape from there. That is what the Constitution says. Whoever wins, I'm going to finish. Whoever wins through a democratic election, free and fair election, gets power.
All right.
He won. You are not going to use what I said to say Raila should not be president.
All right. You say that the Daily Nation is actually, you know, on the side of, I don't know which side you're saying.
I said they use the word theatrics inappropriately.
Theatrics. But you said he's a joker. You said Raila is a joker yourself.
Yes, I say.
Yes.
He was a joker.
No, you said no.
But listen to me.
You said he's a joker.
No,
this is active tense. He's a joker.
Listen to me. The clip you played is how old?
2015.
So how can you say I say? I said. That is the English expression.
That's what I said.
But I did not say now.
You didn't say Raila is joking.
No, I did not say. I did not say that now.
Present participle.
No.
It is continuous.
Just listen to me.
We didn't call him a joker.
Listen to me.
We didn't say he was joking. He's a joker.
The Nation Media Group is, of course, in a choreographed thing to turn the attention on Miguna. You're not going to manage it. The attention is squarely on the people who stole elections on August 8th, who manipulated the figures. Raila won. Raila is going to be sworn in. Can I finish? He asked a question.
Okay, let me finish.
Just give it.
Because Miguna said
just give it time. Let me finish.
He said what he had to say, both here and on.
You are going to try to shift the attention to me.
All right.
And you will not succeed.
Thank you. Miguna thinks we are trying to shift the attention, but of course,
you are trying to.
If things are on record, you have to be put to task to also
verify.
Thank you. So you've had your time. Let's hear for Aaron Cheruiyot as well. Just a moment.
Debarl, I'll talk about later about all these Miguna stories, but there's something that really captures my attention. Your sub headline as a Daily Nation, that politics of the next 5 years will be shaped less by the theatrics of opposition, swearing in, that is, and more by a clutch of underlying trends, all focused on 2022. Nothing could be more accurate than this. Miguna takes issue with the fact that the Daily Nation has used the word theatrics. Let me tell you, Miguna, theatrics means things that involve a lot of drama and emotion and nothing else but it. This is what the swearing in is. It is just a facade. It cannot lead you anywhere. That is why I have always taken issue, Debarl, when we come here each and every morning discussing something, and I've told you, and this is factual, let alone these stories of Miguna. If you go and bank what he's telling you, I want to assure you that it will bounce. The reason why there cannot be a swearing in is that all these stories that you see Raila and Kalonzo going around the country, what they are trying to do is that they are raising their bid price. You know, because they speak to their people in public and tell them, we are not going to negotiate with Jubilee. But at night, they are sending emissaries to the president each and every day with a fresh list of demands. That is why this will never be achieved. Let me give you a perfect example, Debarl. Last year, December the 15th, the Parliament of Kenya sat down to vote representatives of a country to Iyala. If you do remember very well, the candidates that received the highest number of votes. Number 1 was Kalonzo Musyoka's son. Number 2 was Raila Odinga's brother. Ask yourself, how could that be possible?
Thank you.
Despite the fact that, wait, just a second. You know you allowed Miguna so much time, you've got to allow us at least a minute.
No, he had a right of response.
How could you, how could they achieve that despite the fact that Jubilee controls minority in both houses of parliament?
Thank you.
It's because they negotiated.
All right, let's
Miguna, just a final thought, Miguna, you've got to remember one thing. You've got to be a man who stands by his word. Unfortunately, your words and your actions do not go in tandem. That is why on August 8th, you turn up to a voting booth, vote for Uhuru Kenyatta, then 2 weeks later, you're calling for the swearing in of Raila. Aren't you confused? You speak and say, I am a general, that I will stand and achieve this. Yet, last December, you promised us that you're going to bring Raila back to the country.
Thank you. Let's hear from Hamad.
And swearing in 3 canisters of tear gas later,
thank you.
He was at the back of a KLM flight, running away from this country.
And I'm right here.
You came back, but you'll run away again.
All right, Aaron, please.
You will run away.
Please, all right, we are hearing from Hammond, please. Hammond?
Debarl, British wartime Prime Minister Winston Churchill is quoted as saying that eating words never gave him constipation. And order, please.
Please, could we have
call the bench to order.
Miguna and Aaron, please. Okay. Hammond is.
In 1980 or thereabouts, I think 1980, George Bush contested for the Republican presidential ticket against Ronald Reagan. And he called Reagan a number of adjectives you can't even use. The most famous of which was Vaudois economics, and in reference to the plans Reagan had for America on the economic front. But after the election, Reagan won and Bush became his vice president. So in politics, I don't see why we are taking Miguna to task. In politics, people say this today. For some reasons, either the context has changed or the facts are no longer the same, then they say something. It's everywhere, even in advanced democracies. What I want to talk about this swearing in is what I have said repeatedly. That if you looked at the swearing in per se, you could use any adjective you want, including theatrics. I said it may not amount to much. It may be short on substance. All this you can say. But I also added, and very important, I added that, you see, there are a number of things that are going on as an expression of dissatisfaction from the NASA side. Since the country is torn into two, and we are living in a very volatile country right now, Debarl, we should not allow any of these things, because cumulatively, they can destroy this country. If what has gone by in the past is anything, if what we went through is anything to go by, small demonstrations led to death. Receiving Raila from the airport, just a man arriving from outside, being received by his followers, 16 or so people died. You remember, people, Baby Pendo, we are talking about Mora, we are talking about Master Mutinda. If people die because of these small things, what would happen if the government moved in to stop the swearing in?
Thank you.
So, and I'm saying as a country, Debarl, you must allow me to finish this. I'm saying as a country, let us not allow these things to go on, because we are really courting disaster. We are courting disaster. We should avoid these things, even if it means compromising on certain things. Compromises from both sides. You get what I'm saying?
Thank you.
It is not important. It's not good to play with fire.
All right, let's hear from Jacob Midio. Very briefly.
Yes, Debarl, you ambushed Miguna, but you made him look good in the end, because I don't see anything contradicting or contradictory in the person of Miguna and the statements he made there. Actually, I think they are very orderly statements, because I think the people on Miguna's side this is the way they see the country. And the big picture is what should suffice. Are we as a country moving forward, or where are we going? Are we going east, west? You know, you have real issues. This is why I like the talk when NASA says the first thing, two things we must get if we get to talk. The first one is police reform. The second one is to do election laws that don't lead us to where we are. My question has been the last few months, what I see on the streets, how will you reverse the feelings of the people? In fact, when I'm now a free man on the streets, I see the whole middle class of this country have turned against politicians and the government. They are saying we don't want this. They don't want lies from politicians. And they're saying they want leadership. And how difficult is it for a country to sit and dialogue with itself? You know, what I am seeing here, whichever way you look at it, and I want to tell my friend Aaron, that never play with fire. This is worse than it has been in many countries. This has been long coming. When you hear Wamatangi saying or bragging on TV how fish farming does well in his village, it's at the expense of our people.
Yes.
At the expense of our people. The government was feeding the fish in his village. Correct. And if you go to our place, nobody gets fertilizer. When you talk about the two tribes, the reason why we are talking about inclusivity in this country is because all the coffee debts have been written off, which were accumulated during Nyayo. It's because all the tea debts have been written, you see.
Wrote them off twice.
Exactly. Right. So what are you telling the rest of Kenyans? They're feeling out there, you guys are leaders, especially the elected ones. You stop joking with Kenyans. We must figure out our way out of predicament. We know elections have gone awry. We know it has gone awry more than once. We must, as leaders, do what will be good for our country. You cannot condemn this country to a futureless society. That's not right.
Thank you. Let's hear from Wamatangi as we're winding up as well.
Yeah, sure.
Very briefly.
Let me, on behalf of Jacoyo Metiwo, just apologize because I know he was actually himself caught in a harder place than Miguna, because you see that diversion you're hearing talking about fish, feeding fish and fertilizer is because I mean he was detouring. He didn't want to really give it to Miguna because he knew exactly what he would have wanted to tell him after that and what he knows in his mind. So but you don't have to say it because we are all politicians and you know, political survival is an important thing for all of us, including Miguna. But just two things I want to say.
Very briefly, sir.
And remember, when I was here the last time, I said, I hope Raila watches NTV AM Live on Tuesday mornings, and I hope, I hope he's still watching now, because you remember what I said very, very clearly that morning, that you know, this man is beholden by people who, at his own expense, at the expense of his legacy, are determined to play any game, to introduce gymnastics, to tell lies, to turn around, as long as they can ensure their own survival. And there is nothing much more clear than what you have just seen there on that clip. I mean, imagine, I wish, you know, I had a chance to speak on his behalf, but I can't. I mean, a man who calls you a joker, and then the following day he's saying that you can be a guy who says you cannot even run a county, and you know, that's what I'm saying. So you see, and also goes ahead to say he is undeserving. Does he deserve? So that's what I'm saying. And I'm not addressing only Miguna. I'm addressing the whole of that clique and group you see of pretenders and liars, who you remember me describing the other day, because they need to survive. So what they've been doing is they're the ones who have been funding this story and talk about swearing in, where they know that indeed even most of the bona fide supporters of Raila himself already know. And remember me asking that question, why is this talk about swearing in now not being talked about by Orengo or by Mudavadi or by Kalonzo?
Right.
I mean, the people with the muscle in the party, but it is now left to the soldiers without title, others with self-imposed titles. You know, I mean, really. So that's why you find that
The
let's
last word.
describe this for what it is to Kenyans.
Thank
It
you.
is not only a farce, it is a lie.
Right. All right, thank you.
It is a front put
Okay.
by political losers
Thank
and
you. We need
wannabes
to- no, no, no.
who want to claim some political mileage
Thank you.
or
5
capital
minutes.
or space.
All right, we can't actually give you a closing remarks. We actually stop for time. Thank you very much for coming through. Of course, we shall continue this discussion next week. Thank you so much. And of course, we'll begin with you, Miguna Miguna.
You can never beat or defeat me by putting me on the spot. You
No, 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 that is not my intention.
Kenyans trust me.
But that is not my intention at the end of the day.
failed.
No, it's not to put you, yeah? But, that's not the issue.
Sprung it on me, but you failed.